Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Welcome to another stamping weekend. I'm an independent demonstrator here in Simcoe, Ontario, and if you need a demonstrator and you live in Canada, feel free to shop with me. You can reach me at stampsandtea@gmail.com, and my demonstrator website is stampsandtea.stampinup.net. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to make a card and it's called the Faux tile technique, which just means it looks like tiles. It isn't real tiles, it looks like tiles. I'm going to use this Snowflake Wishes stamp set because it has a lovely assortment of snowflakes in it. Now if you don't have this stamp set, that's okay. Any stamp set that has like a really good assortment of snowflakes, or you pick a stamp out of this set, a stamp out of that set, anything just to get a good assortment of different sizes and shapes of snowflakes. We've got, what have we got for the card? We've got Starry Sky is my card base, and that's standard base 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I've got two pieces of basic white for the mats, one for the front and one for inside, and they are 5 1/4 by 4 each. And I've got a couple of scraps, one to stamp my sentiment on and one to back my sentiment. Got a nice white envelope. We need this Stamp and Pierce mat, because the stamps themselves are photopolymer stamps, which just means they don't have any red rubber on the back of them, so they've got nothing to cushion them. So that's why you use this board here, so that it's got a little cushion behind it. The other thing we're going to use is we are going to use our scoring board. So I have a line down the center of my scoring board, just because I find it easier to work in the middle of the board than in the corner. I know my mat is 5 1/4 inches wide, so if you divide that by 2, you would get 2 5/8. So from the 6 I need to count back 1, 2 and 5 marks here, which would be, I think, there. And if I go back to the 6 and I count this way, I would have 1, 2, and there's my 5 marks again. So I know my card is in the center of this way, center of my board. I'm going to take my stylus that came with the board. Just move this down so you can see. There's my 6-inch mark, and this is lined up right in the middle. On the stylus you have a thin end and a thick end. I'm using the thin end, and I'm just going to score right down the middle and then move over 1 inch and score, and 1 inch and score, and then I'm going to come back this way and I'm going to go to 5-inch mark and score, and the 4-inch mark and score. So that's my score lines going down. I'm going to turn it around, line it up in the center. Now I know this is 4 inches, so if I put it on the 4-inch mark, it should go to 8, which is exactly half, and I'm going to score at 2 or 6, score at 7, and score at 5. And I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but there are my score lines, which makes it look like tiles. So we're going to put this board away now. Bring in the foam, the Stamp and Emboss. Now I've got a piece of paper towel on here just because I'm going to stamp off the ends of my card, and I don't want it to mark my board. I've got 3 colors of ink here. I've got Starry Sky, Balmy Blue and Seaside Spray, and I've got an assortment of snowflake stamps. Okay, different sizes, different shapes. So I'm going to start with Starry Sky, and I'm just going to stamp it a couple of times randomly. Now I don't want to press too hard in this ink because it's a very wet ink pad. I'm going to hold this down and I'm just going to go there. Now when you look at my pattern, you can see that I've got a gap in my pattern there. That's the tile, and that's okay. another one. I'll put one there. Yes, that's enough, because I've got 4 different stamp sets and 3 inks. So we'll close that one up. We've got some balmy blue here, and we've got a smaller size snowflake, and we're just gonna ink that up nicely. And again, we'll just stamp it randomly. There. I've used those two. I'll put those out of the way. Then I've got some seaside spray, and I've got a couple of small stamps that I'll use to fill in. Whoops. There. Now that doesn't look like a lot, but I think it's enough for what we need for this morning. I do have one tiny little stamp set, one tiny little snowflake left. No, I think I'm going to stop there. I've got enough. Now this is where the fun part begins. We're going to emboss this whole piece with clear embossing powder. Now what's going to happen when I do this is I'm going to start up the heat gun, I will pause the video, and I'll come back, because this piece here is going to take about 5 minutes to heat emboss, and I don't want you to have to sit and watch that. Okay, so we're going to put the I'll show you what we're going to do next. We're going to take some Versamark. Got everything here. I've got Versamark, and I'm going to open up the Versamark pad. I need to make sure that this piece is completely dry, so I'm going to touch the darker blue snowflakes, and nothing's coming off on my fingers. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to press my Versamark pad down onto this, and pick it up and make sure I can see that I've got Versamark everywhere, and I think I do. Put that out of the way, bring in some, like just a scrap of paper, because you know you always pour your Versamark, your embossing powder back into your container as soon as you're finished. Let me just look at that. I can see that it's shiny everywhere, I think. Yep. And I'm just going to put that out of the way. I've got some clear embossing powder here. Now I'm just going to turn on the heat gun so that it can warm up, because I need it to be hot. That's down there out of the way. See this? And I'm going to cover this whole piece with clear embossing powder. Now it looks like I'm putting a lot on, but you know, as you know, you pour it back into the container. Just scraping off any excess that's sitting there. Give it a little ping. Yep, that looks nicely covered. All of this right back into the container so that we don't lose any, or we don't blow it all over the desk. Lid. Right. Okay. So here it is, and I'm going to start the process, and then I'm going to halt my video. So here is this piece that we've just heat embossed, and I'm trying to turn it to the light so you can see how it all shines. Which way is my light? See if I can shine this light on it. You can't really see it, but it's completely glossy all over. It looks like a backsplash or kitchen tiles or some sort of tiles. Okay, I'm just going to give it a second or two to dry. That honestly took probably close to 5 minutes to emboss. Okay, that was why I paused the video. Yep, I think we're good there. Alright, get the scraps out of the way. So now we'll put the card together. And it's really quite simple. But first, what I think I should do is stamp a sentiment. Whoops. Stamp my envelope. Let me turn that over. Don't want that ink on there. So I have two nice sentiments. One says Snowflake wishes for a Merry Christmas, and that's going to go on the front. Remove my envelope. Snowflake wishes for a Merry Christmas is my sentiment, and I'm stamping it in Starry Sky. There. And for the inside, I have something that says, let me see if I can read it, May your season sparkle. And I think we'll just stamp that in Starry Sky as well. Oh, nice, that's nice. Okay, we'll set that aside to dry, and that, and I think we'll put a couple of snowflakes, or maybe one big snowflake. Let's have a look. Oops, I'm stuck to it. Oh, there it goes. A snowflake on the envelope. That's going on the back. There. Turn it over. And just stamp a couple of small ones on the front. What do we got? Yeah, let's use this one. There. And that just pulls the envelope in and matches the envelope up to the card and everything else. Move those out of the way. We'll set this to the side now. I want to put this whole thing out of the way. All right. So this is the piece we heat embossed, and I have here some Starry Sky. I'm not sure what it is. It isn't really a ribbon. It's nice, it's a lovely colour, but it's not a twine and it's not a ribbon. It's sparkly. It's lovely when you look at it up close. It's sparkly and everything, but I'm just not sure what it is. So all I'm going to do with that is wrap this around my card twice, I think, sort of on an angle so that it goes like that. Which way have I got it? I want it flat, but to cross over like that, and then I'm going to pull my card over, turn my card over, making sure I've got that crossed. A little bit of adhesive here. Whoops. That's stuck down. This piece I've got to pull tight because I want to pull this piece tight as well. There. I've got way excess there, so I'm going to trim a little bit of this ribbon off. here, there. So all I did was it crossed over on the front. It's gonna sit underneath my sentiment, which I've got here. And then I'm just gonna put this on here like this and trim this. Put it right up in the corner, so I only have to trim 2 sides. Like that. Put the ribbon out of the way. We need this piece now, the piece we embossed. So what I've done is I've put 2-sided tape around the edges because I want all my edges held down tight. Okay, and I'm just going to pick at this and pick up a corner and fold it over like that, just folding it over so that I'm not sticking the whole card down until I'm sure it's in the right spot. And then I can just peel off these pieces of tape. You'll see what I mean. That, so I've got 4 pieces and I've folded them over. They're like flags. Here's my card front. Make sure I've got this the right way up. Pull my tail out here, like I got there. That's a little bit of adhesive. Oh, just trim that off. It's just a little too long there. Okay. So we're going, as always, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. It's not straight. There and there. Oops, where's my... Okay. Bring that out. This out. Lost a tail. There it is. And as we pull the tail out, and we pull the tail and we pull the piece of tape out, that leaves all the adhesive exposed and it's held down nice and firmly. There. Get rid of those. Now I'm going to bring in some dimensionals to put my sentiment on, and I'm just going to pop my sentiment over like that. One there, one there, one there. That should do. Just looking at my tiles and lining that up in the middle. Straight, yes. And then I've got my sentiment, my mat for the inside. There. Really plain, simple card. Not plain, beautiful, sparkly, shiny, shimmery card. Quite simple to do, but here's another one I did. This one is in Poppy Parade, and this one used another old stamp set, Many Memories, I think it was called, Many Merry Moments. Same idea, 2 cards, completely different, but done using the same technique. So as always, these are my own creations. Feel free to use them, to share them if you wish. If you sell your cards, put the Stampin' Up angel stamp on the back, which just says all the supplies used were Stampin' Up supplies. So that's it for another week, people. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye.